coverage of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship for 2018 is brought to you by Altherm. Round 2 of the Fowler Homes Group A Championship was held at the Shelterview Jet Sprint Park in Wanganui, and extending his winning run was Hamilton's Ollie Silverton and Jess Sid in PSP Racing. Have a look at the season standings after 2 rounds, and the perfect score for Ollie Silverton and Jess Sid sitting on 60 points. Taranaki now and the Methanex Aquatrack for round 3 in Waitara. The track is the newest of all the tracks the competitors face over the season. The brainchild of past world and New Zealand Superboat champion Leighton Manel. It offers up its own challenges. A comparatively small circuit, it can be quite rough. A mixture of tight turns and multiple weight crossings, Waitara always keeps the drivers on their toes.
It's very smooth, it's very flowy, and you can really link the corners together, so if you overthink it and you're jarring around out there, you're going to have a nightmare. So it's best to try and keep the pedal in and keep the head calm and just go with it.
Someone who loves the track, 2 times Group A champion Ollie Silverton.
These Sprintec boats favour these rougher conditions. We like it. It just sort of puts a driver's element back into it instead of just a big wide open speed track as such. So yeah, no, it's a happy hunting ground for us, so hopefully it continues.
There's a few money corners out there. The hairpins actually, to me, is probably one of the least ones at the moment. There's more when you're coming into a couple of the tighter ones and your own weight there. But yeah, we've just got to feather our way through it and see what happens.
2 corners is the hairpin, and then coming up the hairpin and then turning that way. That's tight too, it comes up on you really quick, so I reckon those 2 corners are where you'll get it. It's a pretty cool flow and rotation apart from those 2. Well, they're what catching me out anyway, so we'll work on that.
Tasting the circuit for the first time and in front of a home crowd, Lachie McMillan on 1 chance.
Everyone's been changing their boats now for the last qualifier, I'd say. We're changing our blades now and a few things. And we've got Matt on now as the new navigator, so it's his first day in the navigator's seat, which is good. We've got it pretty sussed out there, eh?
Yeah. On a high after his Bay Park win, Ross Travers in Radioactive.
A lot of confidence coming here after Bay Park, after struggling for the last few rounds, just trying to sort little bits out, but I feel we've definitely improved there.
Like all the top competitors, Ross was using the early qualifiers to experiment and play with combinations before the all-important eliminations. This
morning's run we actually had some blades in that we'd had last season. We'd altered them, but just felt it wasn't really quite up to what we want to do. The last run we put the old blades back in that we run at Bay Park, and it was just that much more throttle response. I've had to go up a bigger nozzle now, so it's just leaping out the water everywhere.
Back into the series after a bit of a layoff, Alf Kill and Rick Burke in Firewater. Well, boys, it's been a long time between drinks.
Yeah, it has. We took 2 rounds off to get some brownie points so we could head off to the Worlds at the end of the year, so we're looking in good stead for that now. We love the Group A, we like how she's restricted, and it's a good field out there, and the fact that it's so close today as well. I think we've got about 7 boats on the same second, so it's looking for a banging final really. The boat's handling well, we've got it set up pretty well for this track. We'll make a couple of changes before the pointy end of the field if we get there, but pretty happy with the day.
Also happy, current points leader in Fowler Homes Group A and a 2-time national champion, Ollie Silverton.
I've got total confidence in the boat, I mean, it plows through that stuff easy and it goes where I point it, so the only thing that it doesn't do is if you're off the gas, it's not going to go anywhere, so you've got to get on the gas and stay on the gas, and then the boat goes really well. Our focus this year is championship, and then obviously look towards see what happens with the New Zealand Championship and whether or not that leads on to the World Series.
The championship had headed to the halfway stage, and while plenty were thinking ahead, there were some were thinking about the present.
Just sort of get a bit relaxed on it and sort of got off the gas and put it up the bank backwards, but anyway, that's behind us.
Also behind us, the 5 qualifying races, so we move into the first elimination, and topping the charts is Ollie Silverton once again. Just making it to the first elimination with a 46.264 were Mandy and Clayton Tisdall. Their top 9 time a troubled 48.947. Just like that, their day was over. Sean and Faye Rice were back in their own boat at Waitara, Elite Kitchen's Monster Energy. They had rallied back from some issues in qualifying to record a 45.287, the 7th quickest. Harry Whelans and long-time navigator Jason Conroy were the 7th quickest qualifier to make it into the 9. They dropped a spot here to be 8th with a 45.806, again proving how close the competition was in Fowler's Group A. Andy Ryan was 8th place at Shelter View, well behind his expectations at round 2. They had some good luck here in round 3. Their 44.801, 5th quickest in the 9 and going into the 6. For Rick Burke and Elf Kill in Firewater, it might have been a case of the pause that refreshes. Back after a bit of a layoff, they were fast straight away despite having transponder issues. A 44.866 saw them into the 6. They say winners are grinners, and that was the case for Shane and Ross Travers after their win at Bay Park. 4th quickest into the 9 and 3rd with a 43.988. Not for the first time, Neil Marshall had turned Eagle Automotive into a submarine at the non-championship Bay Park Stadium sprint. A quick clean out and engine rebuild later, he was back with 44.363, 6th quickest. Despite a spin in qualifying and still getting used to his brand new Stinger hull and a new navigator in Don Thompson, Cy Gibbon in Novus Auto Class was moving on. His 43.276, the fastest of the top 9. Fastest to get into the 9 with a 42.936. The only combo into the 40s was Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt in PSP. They would play second fiddle to Gibbon here, but still easily make it to the eliminations. So it is Cy Gibbon on top with the new navigator, Donna Thompson, helping him out. Then it's the champion, Ollie Silverton, through in 2nd place. So from 9, we will cut them to 6 here at Waitra. It's round 3 of the Alpha Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship. Rick Burke and Elf Kill first to go. The boat is Firewater. It's a Sprint Tech G-Force. These guys did a 44.866 in the top 9. They were the 6th quickest qualifier, but it gets a little bit tougher now. This is the 6 from 6. We'll cut them down to 3. Qualifying time was a 44.871, so they have been improving just ever so slightly. They're the champions of the world in the Group A split time, a 23.457 for Elf and Rick. Elf Kill doing the navigational duties there. He is waving his arm in front of his pilot, Rick Burke. Second split was a 30.699. Remember, they are the flag bearers, if you like. They'll set the benchmark here in the top 6. What do we got? Are we going to see another 44-second run for the combination from Hamilton? Firewater stops the clocks with a 44.966. Slightly slower than their top 9 time. Have a look at it on the slow motion replay. We talked about jumping over your weight. The boat looking very, very settled. That Sprint Tech G-Force handling the conditions very, very well indeed. This is Andy Ryan and Carrie-Ann Allen. It's the Joker. It's a Stinger hull with a 620 horsepower, 406 cubic inch Chevy in it. Andy's a earth mover. Sponsors are Rapid Earthworks and Heinz Pipe System. They finished 9th last year in the national title chase in Group A. This is a new season for Fowler Homes Group A, looking for the split time, 22.354. So that's the fastest split we've seen. That's a little bit quicker than what we saw from Rick Burke. Having looked for the second split, it's a 29.887. So once again, they've gone quicker than Burke and Kill. This is going to be a pretty good performance for Andy Ryan and Carrie-Ann Allen. Heading down towards the finish line now, around the island, round the right-hander, they'll come 44.217. They go to the top of the charts in the top 6 in Fowler Homes Group A. So this is Neil Marshall and Hayley Brunning next to go. Eagle Automotive is the boat, and it's had the big rebuild since Bay Park. They submarined it at Bay Park. It went completely under the waters there, so they've rebuilt the engine. It's a Stinger hull, a Chef combination, runs about 650 horsepower. Hayley Brunning standing in for Michelle Reid, Neil's partner, still recovering from that accident at Wanganui last season. Looking for the split here, 23.294. So that is slightly quicker from what we saw from Rick Burke, but not as fast as Andy Ryan. So remember, from 6 we'll cut them to 3. On the bubble may just be Neil Marshall, 30.995 at the split for him. This is going to transfer to around about a high 44, maybe a low 45, and maybe that's not going to be good enough for Neil Marshall. 45.620 for the man from Taranaki in front of the home crowd here at Waitra. So this is the money corner, if you like, at the Methanex Aquatrack. This is the hairpin. It'll be fast in and fast out. We saw that from Neil Marshall. Ross Travers and Shane Travers go next. This father and son combination from Wanganui. Group B champion in 2015, moved up at the 2016 Worlds for a one-off appearance in Group A, and now firmly ensconced there. Steve-O's distributor, Hebner Motorsport, and Forden's Garage are the sponsors. Big confidence boost with the win at Bay Park, 22.516 at the split. So that is the fastest split we've seen. So Ross and Shane Travers looking pretty good here, 30.244. That's another fast split in the second time round as well. So they are going to trouble the time of Andy Ryan here, and that will put Neil Marshall on the bubble. Remember, from 6 I should say, there'll be 3. And Ross Travers looks like he'll be there, 44.379 for Radioactive. Ollie Silverton, Jetsprints next to go. PSP Racing is the boat. The sponsors are PSP, Clearview, Suntough, Drainage Systems, Biolytics, Magnum Automotive. John and Graham Mincham doing a fantastic job with that engine. You can hear it singing away in the back of the Sprint Tech. These guys did a 43.644 in the top 9. They're only one to go sub 44. What can they do here? 21.955. You're going to get sick of hearing it, but that's the fastest first split we've seen from the two-time champions. 29.455. First one under the 30-second barrier for the second split. This is going to be very fast indeed. This is going to be sub 44, I would think. And once again, look at the way the boat just sits flat on the water. 43.121. They go to the top with Cy Gibbons still to come. The perfect run around the hairpin and through the left-right combinations for Ollie Silverton and Jetsprints. This is Mid-Canterbury's Cy Gibbon, Simon Gibbon and Donna Thompson. The first time that I think Cy's competed without Paul Thompson. So Paul on a little bit of a leave, and Donna, who came to our attention as part of the Tour Breast team in Group B a few years ago now with Monica Cooper. And at that stage, Donna was the driver. She's never been a navigator before, but she's navigating Cy Gibbon. He was the quickest in the top 9, 22.030. How does it compare? 21.955 for Ollie Silverton, so he's slightly down. 29.764 compares to 29.455. So Silverton has got the edge here in the 6th. Won't mean that much until we get right down to the finish line, though. 43.121, 43.514 for Cy Gibbon.
So I think it's catching a few people out, but you sort of got to get that confidence up and just sort of punch through it. So that's why we did that run and it worked, so I think we'll just stick with that. So, yeah.
So we've found our 3 in Fowler Homes Group A. Ollie Silverton, Cy Gibbon and Andy Ryan. Great performance for Andy and Carrie Ann. Welcome back to the Methanex Aquatrack in Waitara. It's round 3 of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. Let's go back and have a look at the action in Group B. 3NZ, Kelly Manel and Cherie Patterson's challenge ended early in Girl Talk in the qualifiers, but it was only the beginning for husband and wife combo of Tim and Debbie Edhouse in Liquid Addiction. They went on to vanquish all before them and win round 2 at Shelter View. Because they're not in the championship, they don't figure in the overall standings. It's still Paddy Hayden and Jay Hayden, the defending champions, on top. A back in form Paddy and Jay Hayden had topped every chart on the way to booking a top 3 spot, back to their very best in Schizo, and almost a second quicker than their opposition. Also back to their best, the all-female team of Cherie Patterson and Kelly Manel in Girl Talk, again making the final 3. Well, let's have a look as we cut them from 6 to 3 here in Group B, and it is Paddy and Jay Hayden on top. Kelly Manel and Bevan Schuler, first time Bevan's been in the top 3. He'll go first. So this is Bevan and Sam Fergus. Rodikari Roden is the boat. They were 9th last year in Stinger Boats Group B, but they only did 4 rounds. And you can see they're still fixing the boat, or finishing the boat. No sign writing on it as yet. Bevan's a concreting and building contractor. And Sam is a bank officer. Top 6 time 47.265. The top 9 was a 48.098. Split time 24.124. Now that's the fastest split they've done, so they're going to go quicker as well. Just a little bit of a hesitation coming out of the hairpin there, around the Eltham Island and up to the top of the circuit they go. The small compact rotation really has got something for everyone. You've heard the other drivers say it's a navigator's track, but it also flows beautifully between corners, and you see that here with the run from Bevan Schuler. 47.230, his time in the top 3.
I will be glad with third. You know, for new boat, I can't do anything wrong.
So next to go, it will be 3NZ. This is Kelly Manel and Cherie Patterson, the all-girl team from Wanganui and Taranaki, respectively. Kelly, before she was a driver, she was a world-class navigator. She and husband Leighton took world titles and New Zealand titles in Superboat for 2 seasons now. She's been behind the wheel of Girl Talk, sponsors engine rebuilders, 0800 My Engine, cut price rentals. Split time coming up, 24.523 is the first split for Kelly and Cherie. Cherie brand new to this, sitting in the navigator's seat for the first time, 31.644. Now that's a little bit quicker than what we saw from Bevan Schuler. So for the moment, the ladies are on top, Kelly Manel and Cherie Patterson. Cherie brand new to the navigator's seat. Kelly, as I said, second season, finished 3NZ last year. Never finished on the podium, but was super consistent and super quick. 46.826 for Kelly Manel. That currently puts her in second.
I was determined to come back and get confident again, and trust in my driving. And Tim and Cherie have worked their guts out on the boat, so I sort of thought, well, what better way to repay them than try and get on the podium.
So one to come, and it is the 2-time champion, and this is Patrick and Jay Hayden, husband and wife combination from Te Awamutu in the Waikato. 2 times the champion, and they're back to their best. They had a bit of an indifferent time in round number 2 at Shelter View Jetsprint Park, but they're very much to their best now. They've topped every chart along the way. They were the fastest qualifier. They were the fastest in the 9 with a 47.585. They were the fastest in the 6. Split time 22.849. Compare that to Kelly Manel's 24.523, and you can see in Schizo they are quick. 30.871. First one under the 31-second barrier for Paddy and Jay Hayden. Jay's a nurse, Paddy's self-employed. Got his start in motorsport and speedway years ago now. Bought his first jet sprint boat without even telling his wife. 45.778 for Paddy and Jay, and they are back to the top in Stinger Boats Group B. So a return to form for the 2-time champions.
We were just making small gains all day, but we treated the motor to a nice special bit of pain just in cleaning it out. That's okay. We'll do anything to win.
Awesome. I knew we could do it. So proud of them.
They're a pretty happy Jay Hayden there. Let's have a look at the results from round 3 here at Waitra. Paddy and Jay Hayden get the win, and doing so they take the maximum 30 points from Kelly Manel and Bevan Schuler. Overall, it is Hayden and Hayden still on top in the Stinger Boats Group B as we're at the halfway stage of the championship. Back to Group A now, and this is the situation with the top 3. Ollie Silverton, Cy Gibbon and Andy Ryan will fight it out for supremacy here at Waitra. So the Methanex Aquatrack, the top 3 in the Fowler Homes Group A, and first to go it is Andy Ryan and Carrie-Anne Allen. They're on board with them here as they work their way up to the top of the course. They're all going to be over in the best part of 46 seconds, or a little bit quicker than that really. Looks like a good smooth run so far. Andy's time in the top 6 was a 44.217. Split time was a 22.345. And that split time was a 24.889. So they've lost a whole lot of time in the first half. Oh, and they get it wrong out of the hairpin as well. And that's going to cost them that second split, the 29.412. A little bit down on what they did in the 6. But of course all those times mean nothing now. We wipe the slate clean and start again. 46.532. A little bit of a troubled run there for Andy Ryan and Carrie-Anne Allen.
Yeah, today's gone a little bit better than usual. So yeah, no, we're stoked. Yeah, wrapped.
So top 3 for the popular combination. This is Cy Gibbon and Donna Thompson. Finished second in the title chase last year. In fact, back-to-back seconds for Novus Auto Glass. And as I mentioned before, first time that Paul Thompson hasn't been sitting alongside his lanky driver, and that is Cy Gibbon. Cy really does fold himself into this Stinger hull. Oh, and they've got it absolutely wrong. At the top end of the course, it's just spun out by the look of it. We'll have a look at it on the replay here. You're riding on board. It just cut, maybe they just grazed the side of the island, I'm not sure.
Had the wood ride in it, and oh, sweet, we're nearly home. And yeah, yet again, it bloody let go on us. But oh, take it back home and start working on it.
Well, third just became second for Andy Ryan and Carrie-Anne Allen, with Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt still to come. And let's face it, they've got to get through to the finish line to take the win. They've proven that they've been fast. Cy Gibbon beat them in the top 9, but other than that, it's been the PSP Racing Show. It's a Sprint Tech G-Force hull. A Magnum Automotive Chevy sits in behind them, around about 650 odd horsepower. Once again, have a look at the attitude of the boat. Split time 21.887, fastest we've seen for Jess and Ollie. Nicely through the hairpin there, nice in tight out wide. That was fast. 29.664 at the second split, so this is going to transfer into a pretty quick time. 43.121 in the 6. This is the all-important 3. This is the top step on the podium we're talking about. 43.320, slightly slower than the 6, but it doesn't matter.
Cy was right on our tail. There was a bit of cat and mouse in the 9 he got in front of us, I think it was. So yeah, I mean, if he had stayed in the water, it would have been a really good final. It's a shame, really, but hey, that's racing.
30 points to get for the win, and that's what Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt get, and they keep their perfect season alive. 30 points for them. In second place, it will be Andy Ryan and Carrie-Anne Allen, and in third place, Cy Gibbon and Donna Thompson. Overall, for the situation, the perfect score means 90 points for Ollie Silverton and Jess Sitt. They lead in the Fowler Homes Group A Championship. Round 2 of the Mouthfresh Superboats as part of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships was held at Wanganui at the Shelter View Jet Sprint Park. Coming out on top, entertaining the big crowd, was defending champion Peter Kohli and his co-driver Sharma Putranui. Whilst his competitors got closer, no one has been able to topple the back-to-back champion. So if we have a look at the season points so far, a perfect score for Peter Kohli and Sharma Putranui. Nick Berryman through in second place. Since round 2 at Wanganui and round 3 here in Waitra, the Superboats had been entertaining the huge crowds at the NZ Stadium Sprints at ASB Bay Park. Happy hunting ground for the Rusty One team after their stunning third place at the 2016 Worlds.
Bay Park, you just have to stay on the track, and that was the aim, to stay in the track. And actually, we did a good time, but we made sure that we got round there. That was the aim. It wasn't, you know, we had to sort of sit back and say, well, we're not going to go for that top spot. If we get that top spot, then that'll be pretty awesome. But we were pretty stoked with the second and with the result we got there.
But there was no stopping the NZ Trojan Total Oils boat of Peter Kohli. After years of trying, he finally won at Bay Park.
The NZ Stadium event up in Tauranga, that sort of was the addition halfway through the season. So a great event, you know, it really was. And I would say that, I suppose, because I won it for the first time ever. And so that was a bit of good news for us. And but it was a really cool event.
Back on the championship trail in round 3 was at the Methanex Aqua Track in Waitra in Taranaki. Probably the smallest track layout that we go to, but all of the Mouthfresh Superboat drivers seem to like it. Big talking point, could anyone knock off the points leader and multi-times New Zealand and world champion, Peter Kohli?
It's our newest track in the New Zealand circuit. It's our smallest as well, and it does tend to put up some tricky little wakes, and unfortunately from a racing perspective we've got that tricky little wake down at the hairpin that tends to be sitting there just waiting for you. One of the real money corners, one of the most demanding corners on the track. Definitely a navigator's track. There's a lot of sequences that you boat past the first time you go in, the middle time, the next time you cut in a different aspect again. So you've got to stay sharp for this track, and really there's very little time between turns either. So you got to get in the groove and keep it flowing, and otherwise it just all snowballs it on you.
From all the drivers we talked to, the consensus was yes, it was tricky, but the rotation flowed well.
Yeah, it's certainly tight out there, and it's but it flows nice, I mean, I often say if I can learn the track pretty quick, it flows well, and it is a nice flowing track. Saying that, I got the first 2 runs wrong, but we had a bit of difficulty around the hairpin. You get a bit frustrated, but overall I think it'll be a good day.
Sam Udick was back at Waitra after Mechanicals stalled his charge at Shelter View.
Feel sorry for the lads. They pulled an all-nighter and then managed to get home for about half an hour at 1:30 this morning to pack their bags, and then they hit the road at 2 o'clock this morning and still working on it when they got down here. So she's been a mammoth effort from them, one that we appreciate, and it was just a matter of just throwing down some times and, hopefully do them justice. It is a tight track and it is flowing. The speeds will get up there, but there's still money corners like the hairpin, and a lot of left to right sequences and all that sort of stuff, so you've got to really nail them to actually bring it home.
For the time being, Kohli had resisted the urge to go to a supercharger or turbo and admitted that maybe he was a bit down on power.
There's certain rotations where not having too much power just allows you to keep the channel under it and drive that bit harder and not have to make so many decisions. And on a technical track, it's all about, the driving these things, 80% about throttle, 20% about steering. So a bit like driving a sprint car, if you haven't got the throttle right, the steering won't fix that, and the opposite is true though. So that's what we're all learning today, and that's the challenge. That's why we love Superboat.
A man that fits easily into that category is Rob Kohli. He had a new rig at Waitra.
Twin turbo bought off Graham Hill. Was just getting a little bit frustrated with the big block and things weren't going where I sort of felt we should be, and just made that change. I've never driven anything but that, and really enjoying it, loving it. The support's been fantastic. Brian Hartley's been joined us, and also had Wayne at work. He's been sort of frantically putting things together and making changes, and I think we've got a pretty good package now.
The 5 qualifying rounds are for times to try things, find the right setup and set some time. You can't afford to experiment too much come elimination time.
Today, we went out there the first qualifier, we went the wrong way. Didn't get upset about it, we took the positive out of it, and the positive was we got to do the hairpin twice. And then we went out second qualifier, did a really good time, third qualifier, really good time. So just looking to make those slow improvements all the time and to be there at the end of the day.
What do they say about best laid plans?
We're coming into the ramp and realised that the reverse bucket wasn't working, and on getting out of the boat we saw that the reverse bucket had been ripped right off the back of the boat, so we're just trying to get it welded up now in the lunch break, and hopefully we'll be back again.
The money corner at the Methanex Aquatrack is definitely the hairpin, both approach and exits, but there are a few other parts where you need your wits about you as well. So we have found our 9 here at round 3 in Waitra, and on top it is Peter Kohli, Rob Kohli and Richard Burt. Past 2-time New Zealand Superboat champion Richard Burt is a driver for hire, and this round he was helping Pip Thompson by double driving the number 20 Link Engine Management Stinger, 42.529 in the 9.
Pip pushed the fact she wanted us in the boat to see what the boat could do. I can't quite fit in there, my knees are up around my ears really, but hey look, we're having a blast as well, yeah.
When you've got 1,500 horsepower plus sitting behind you, how could it not be a blast? Richard Murray and Joe Rathbone in Mina Machines, 44.130 proved that. Rex Bryant, past multi-time Group A champion, had In the Raw back in the water. The original Stinger designer and builder had his 410 sprint car engine powered boat through in 43.619. With reverse bucket safely back in place, Aaron Hansen and Julianne Shanks got through the rotation in 44.185. Sadly not good enough to make the top 6 cut. It's only Baden Gray's second season in the Mouthfresh Superboat ranks. He and navigator Darren Todd had the twin-turbo 1,200 horsepower Shed Stinger combo into the 6 with a 42.958. The adjustments they were making after qualifying working well for them. With this round being the halfway point of the championship, some of the front runners were already thinking titles. Was Nick Berryman amongst them? After a fine third place at Shelter View, why not? Top 6 bound with a 42.838. Rob Kohli adapts well. He had gone from zero motorsport to peddling a 705 cubic inch methanol drinking monster, and now he was adapting well again. The Hartley-inspired Nissan Quad-Cam twin turbo propelling him to quickest in the top 9 and beating this man in the process. Kohli needn't have been too concerned though. The secret to jet sprinting is to always make the elimination cut, and he did that easily. 41.033, second quickest. Whether it was boat setup or driving tips that Richard Burt was advising on, there was one thing clear. Pip Thompson had listened. Her 44.395 here in the 9, better than Dave Simmons in the sister boat, best of 45.9.
First meet that I've been at that I've managed to get past him and stay past him, so I don't know how happy he is, but I'm pretty happy.
So it is Rob and Ange Kohli on top in the top 9 from the champion Peter Kohli in second place. After the break, the all-important eliminations here in Waitara. Welcome back to the Methanix Aquatrack. Plenty of drama here at Waitara as we go into round 3 of the championship. Sam Newdick has not made the next cut. They had an engine issue and he is out. Richard Murray and Joe Rathbone go first in the 6. Richard was the 2013 Group A champion in Mean Machine. That was a Ford-powered Group A boat. This is a 410 supercharged and fuel-injected Ford sitting in the back of the Stinger hull. This is the ex-PPG, the Holt boat of Pat Dillon, a championship-winning boat, and Richard Murray is getting faster and faster and faster with every round he competes in. Jo Rathbone is a horse trainer. This is her first full season as a navigator, looking for the split time here as they work their way around the course. 29.724 for Richard Murray. So this will set the benchmark, if you like, in the top 6. They keep going quicker from the qualifying to the eliminations, and from 6 we'll cut them and there'll be just 3. Time is a 43.748 for the man from Wanganui. Here's a graphic example on the Mouthfresh Superboats of the way that the boats cross their own wake. Look pretty stable there for Richard. This is Rex Bryant. Sitting alongside him, it's Amanda Kitto doing the navigational duties. She's been a navigator for Graham Hill. Graham Hill out of the sport for the moment. But Rex, a 4-time New Zealand Group A champion. The boat is in the Roar. It's one of the original Stinger boats from White Pointer Boats. Rex's own company out of Gisborne. Rex won the Group A championships in 2005 through 2008. It was a great run with Glenn Mason sitting alongside him. Glenn Mason watching on the sidelines because sadly no Sam Newdick. 29.445 at the split for Rex Bryant. Rex is the brother of Peter. Peter is the father of Blake, so it really is a family affair here, the New Zealand jet sprinting scene. Heading down to the finish line now, 43.121 for Rex Bryant. He goes fastest than Richard Murray. In the Roar is the boat, designed and built out of White Pointer Boats in Gisborne. So this is Nick Berryman and Tanya Ironmonger. Nick from Rotorua, Tanya from Waipukurau. She is a superwoman, it says in her biography. You know, at one stage she was a hairdresser. It's a 410 Chevy Whipple supercharged V8, 1100 horsepower, and boy, haven't these guys been on a bit of a tear. A fine 3rd place at the previous round at the Shelter View Jet Sprint Park. 42.838 in the top 9. Split time was a 28.580, and that's faster than the split he did in the 9, so we're looking at a pretty good performance here from Nick. having a pretty good season thus far as we reach the halfway mark here at Waitra. From here we'll go to Hastings, heading down towards the finish line now. 41.671, so he now goes to the top, and Richard Murray on the bubble as we cut them from 6 to 3. Nice out of the hairpin for New Zealand Riverjet, the Stinger hull. So on the bubble now, Richard Murray with that 43.748 as we welcome into the Aquatrack. This is Richard Burt and Hayley House. This is Pip Thompson's engine link management Stinger. Richard giving Pip a little bit of driving instruction here today at round 3, and also doing a bit of driving himself, and he's been fast. 42.458 in the top qualifying run, and a 42.529 in the 9. Richard was a two-time New Zealand Superbike champion, 2009 and 2010, and then second in the Worlds in Group A as well. 29.007 at the split, and that is the second fastest we've seen so far, so not quite matching the time of Nick Berryman at the halfway stage here at Waitra. What's it going to translate as they work their way down through the finish line past the Eltham Island with a 42.788 for Richard Burt. So he goes to the top with Rob Kohli and Peter Kohli still to come. This is Peter Kohli, 7-time world champion, 11-time national champion. Sharma Puttaranui sitting alongside him in the navigating chair. She is a past world navigating champion. That's when the worlds were up in the United States of America. Kohli, well, no surprise, he's been blisteringly fast. A 41.340 to top the qualifying charts, and then a 41.033 in the 9. Interesting to see what the split will be here. 29.007 for Richard Burt. Is this one going to be quicker? You bet your life. 27.884. The only one sub 28 is Kohli as they work their way around. You're riding on board with them here. You see the urgency coming from Sharma Puttaranui as they work down the bottom of the circuit again and stop the clocks with a 40.754. Easily the fastest time of the day. The Sprint Tech G-Force just handling the hairpin with no bothers at all for Peter Kohli and Sharma Puttaranui. So the fastest man in the 9 goes next. This is Rob and Ange Kohli out of Wanganui. The boat is Poison Ivy. It's the Sprint Tech G-Force with the Brian Hartley-inspired Nissan Quad-Cam twin-turbo V8 sitting behind them. First time with this combination for Rob and Ange. But boy, oh boy, they've been fast. 41.906 in the qualifiers, and then a 40.825 to top the charts in the top 9 and turn back the multiple champion that is Peter Kohli. Have a look for the split. It's a 29.143, so it's just a fraction slower than what we saw from Kohli. Kohli's unworldly 27.884, so this is still going to be a pretty fast time for Rob. I've mentioned it so many times before. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You only have to make the elimination cut, and he will do so with a 42.217. So he is taken to this new combination like a duck to water, his Rob Kohli, and he will make the top 3 here at Waitra. So the 3 looks like this. It is Kohli, it is Nick Berryman, and it is Rob Kohli. Big crowd enjoying the sunshine here at Waitra. It is the halfway stage of the Eltham Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprint Championship. We've got to the top 3 in Mouthfresh Superboat, and first to go, it is the man from Mouthfresh, Rob and Ange Kohli out of Wanganui. 42.217 in the 6. Will need to be appreciably quicker than that if he wants to be at the top step of the 3. Still to come, Nick Berryman and Peter Kohli. You're right on board here with Ange and Rob Kohli. This new combination being tried out in competition for the first time. The Hartley-inspired Nissan, and he spun it. Oh, he recovered. Wow, that's going to cost him a whole chunk of time, though. 29.412 at the split, and a lot of that time was lost with a near spin at the hairpin. We've been saying that that's the money corner, and you see exactly why. Down to the bottom edge of the turn they come. Down through the finish line it is a 42.457. Now, Berryman has gone faster. Kohli has gone faster. Rob, you probably know better than most that this sport can be pretty darn cruel. It was one little hiccup at the hairpin.
Yeah, we had that, and to be honest, coming around when we come up from the top and back around to through here, down that bottom corner, got absolutely showered in water. Couldn't see a damn bloody thing. In fact, I just put my foot down and hoped the water was there. But it can be cruel. I mean, we come around into that hairpin pretty hot. I was trying to lay down a decent time, give Pete something to chase, and unfortunately, yeah, you overcook it, and it's just the way it is, isn't it? But very happy with the day. The team's done a great job, and the boat's going well, and I guess at least we know we can be competitive now.
Well, it has been a great debut with the Nissan for Rob and Ange Kohli. Nick Berryman and Tanya Ironmonger next to go. Now they have been in the 41s, 41.671 in the top 6. Riverjet is the boat. It's a Stinger hull. It's a Whipple supercharged 410 Chevy, runs about 1100 horsepower. And Nick has been putting that horsepower to very good use this season, currently sitting second in the points, third at the previous round at the Shelter View Jetsprint Park as well. Can he be third here? Well, maybe he can be first. You're riding on board here with Berryman. Split time coming up for Nick is a 34. Oh, he's gone wrong. He's gone wrong. He's got a navigational error. Oh, this time's going to blow out. He should have turned right when he turned left. And this is going to be tragedy for Nick Berryman and Tanya Ironmonger. This is going to be over 50 seconds, I think. This is good news for Robert Ange Kohli. They've suddenly jumped up to second with Peter Kohli still to go. 50.064. A navigational error has cost Nick Berryman. So if you have a look at it on the replay here, you'll see where he goes wrong. Just a moment's indecision. And it cost big time in jet sprinting.
Oh, I don't know, just overthought it, and just, yeah, the sun was coming down, a little bit of spray, and my visor kind of came half up, making excuses, but that's what happened, and yeah, just went the wrong way, but still happy as hell. After our morning shocker, we only put one time down in the qualifying, so to come back from that and pick off a final, happy as.
Still to come, the fastest man on the circuit here at Waitara with that 40.754. And that is Peter Kohli. Shamra Putranui sitting alongside him in the navigational seat. They've tried different things. He's gone to a bigger engine this season. The track sport motor out to 600 cubic inches now. Started off with a 540, then moved up to a 570. That engine now in the back of Sam Newdick's boat, but this is the new engine. It's all there to combat the turbos and the superchargers, and so far he's done just that. Been a perfect season thus far for Peter Kohli. Have a look at the split time. 27.884 in the 6. Will it be quicker? It is quicker. 27.671 here in the 3. Kohli on the way to yet another win here, but he's got to get to the finish, and he'll do that quite easily. You're on board with him here as he rounds out the bottom corner, heads down to the finish line. 40.754 in the 6. What about a 43.09 to clinch the deal here at Waitara? Have a look at the slow-mo. The sprint tank is planted, and Peter Kohli wins again.
Huge congratulations to my team. They've worked hard all day, and she's been a bit of a mission. We've been struggling to get enough traction here, really. We've run out of fin length and other things, so made a bit of a trim change before the final, which definitely helped a little bit. Well done to Sharma. It's a real navigator's track, this rotation, so done very well, and we haven't had any issues all day. Just kept it clean, so yeah, we'll enjoy it.
So Peter Kohli accepting the accolades from the crowd here at Waitara. 3 starts, 3 wins, the perfect season at the halfway stage of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. Here it is officially. The win goes to Peter Kohli and Shamra Putranui. They get the maximum 30 points. In second place it is Robin Ange Kohli, and in third Nick Berryman and Tanya Ironmonger. Has that changed the situation overall? It just means that Peter Kohli extends his lead to 90 over Nick Berryman and Rob Kohli. Plenty more action to come in the Mouthfest Superboats and the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. Next week we're in Hastings.